Let's go. Okay, so I want to talk to you about the show Material Sound, which was on in Mama Gallery in Albury in February to April earlier this year. So Material Sound is, as the title might suggest, about materials and about sound. But when you put those two things together, you get a kind of an odd juxtaposition of terms. So the reason for that oddness is sound isn't ever a material, it's never ever an object, it's never ever a thing. Sound instead is an energy, it's a sound wave, it comes, it goes, it's intangible, it's impermanent, those kind of terms. So how or why would we think about sound through materials? What does it mean to have a material sound practice? So this exhibition asks questions around that. It asks, what can we learn about materials by hearing them, not listening to them, hearing them? And what can we learn about sound through its materials of its making? So a sound always does need a material to form. So it needs an action like that. It needs two things to come together and either hit or perhaps rub. So my hands are materials. So sound requires a material to be made, even though it itself is not a material. So in this exhibition we're thinking as much about the stuff making the sounds as the sounds itself. And at times the sounds itself aren't the most interesting things. At times it's the materiality of these installations that's interesting. So I'm going to repeat Ross Manning work. So Ross gets 2 mentions in this talk. So this is the entranceway to the exhibition. This is Ross Manning. So there's these great big long wires that go to the top of this beautiful new entranceway to MAMA, which is about 13 metres high. So these are hung and they have these fans on them. We'll see a fan closer in a second. So the fans push these wires around. Is the fan. And the fan comes out of a data projector. So the fan pushes these wires around and they kind of loop around because they're so long, they sway and they loop. Sometimes if the fan's facing the right way, it'll swing it. Other times it sort of stops it. So we have this kind of bunch of 9 of these swinging around. Here's a quite good view of that. And on the ground are all these everyday objects, which came from an upcycling centre in Albury. And so we have bits of metal, plastic, glass, and this drum. So that drum was kind of the key to this work. So these wires would swing around close to the drum. The drum got cut out in that slide. And we have a LED on the end. So we'd be waiting to see, the audience would be waiting to see that LED hit this drum. And it almost never did. So people would wait, and I'd watch these wires swinging around, and then it would hit. There was this moment of, it hit. This is a work by Peter Blamey, which is about solar power. And so this object is a solar panel, and it's on a slow spinning, like disco ball motor. And so as it spins around, it comes into contact with this light. And the light, of course, is just an everyday electric light, but it feeds signal through the solar panel. Then when the solar panel sends that signal to there's a radio, a little transistor radio behind there, playing white noise. So it plays that white noise, and so the white noise goes on and off as it spins. So on and then off. When it's off, there's no sound. When it's on, there's this kind of soft white noise. So it's about good and bad energy. The energy coming from that bulb comes from mains electricity, but it's making solar energy, which is odd. This is a work by Eric Demetriou. So another work with lots of everyday objects, drums, harps, decoy ducks, and little rubber eggs, which look very realistic. So this work is formed around this robot. It's a server, ping pong ball, table tennis server robot. And so the idea is meant to be that you hit the balls back and it lands in this net. But the audience is tasked with setting it off. and it sets off all of the ping pong balls, which ricochet against these objects. So it hits the harp, it hits the drums, it hits all of the stuff around, and then it bounces around the floor, goes out into Vicky's work, which is over here, and the invigilators spent a lot of time gathering these ping pong balls from the floor and from around the space. This is the last work. This is Pia van Gelder. So this work, you might have seen it in Primavera, this part of it. So this work is a synthesizer which is sort of based on lie detector tests. So in here are synthesizers, and you touch the wall and you squeeze it like these people are, and then you sit on these chairs and put your bare feet on these little cymbals. And so the cymbals, they work based on the sort of sweatiness of your feet and the sweatiness of your hands. My hands are too dry, it didn't work. And her feet are touching over here. So based on how you feel when you're lying on here, you get a burst of sound. The burst of sound isn't really about how you feel itself, it's just modulated through your energies in your body. So if you stay on here a long time, you hear the sounds modulated. And there's me just gesticulating, which is the last slide. So this work is about, this exhibition series and these projects are about thinking about materials and then thinking about matter as well. So once we start thinking about materials and matter, and this material turn, we start thinking about ecology and environmentalism and crisis.